Hey everybody, Chris here for P-Tech, and today we are terminating Cat6A for use in a 10 gigabit situation with a video or data. To do this, we've got a special termination kit and special connectors here from Platinum Tools. These are different than the regular Cat6 connectors. Cat6A has a thicker jacket than regular Cat6. That is really the only difference about it. That jacket is thicker, so that basically it stays farther away from neighboring cables and has less crosstalk. But it also makes it a huge pain to fit into a regular Cat6 termination, so you need this particular set of tools and terminations. The only thing that I'm going to use that is not in the kit is my standard issue P-Tech snips, diagonal cutters, so make sure you have those handy too. All the instructions that we're going to go over are also written right here on the box, so if you forget, just read the instructions. Pretty straightforward. Not all that different than regular Cat termination, category 6 especially. So here we go. First step, I'm going to take this stripper. You probably need this one and not your regular stripper because this can cut deeper through that thicker jacket. If you try your regular Cat5 stripper, don't be surprised that it doesn't cut all the way through and you're struggling. It has a max cut direction and a min cut. I am probably going to need the max cut just due to the thickness of this cable. So I'm going to strip back about an inch or so, 1 inch out the side. And I'm going to go in the correct direction, max cut, a revolution or two, and then I should be able to easily break that off. I'm going to get rid of our ripcord, splay my conductors. I'm going to get rid of the inner divider here. Careful not to accidentally nip one of the other wires. And then I'm going to untwist these right down to the point where it comes out of the outer jacket. And stop right there. I don't want to untwist any further than that. And they should, hopefully, start showing up in the right order as I do that. So with those untwisted just to the point where they're coming out of the outer jacket, I'm going to put them in the correct order and straighten them out. I like to do this by pinching them between my thumb and finger, and while pulling it gently, wiggle those suckers back and forth, and all those twists and kinks are going to start to come out. I'll use my other hand to sort of move up alongside. Make sure I keep them in the right orientation. I don't need to twist all the way to the end, because I'm just going to cut that off. So I can just get a nice good section straight there, snip the rest, and move on. I've got my inner loading bar, like you have in most category 6 stuff. I'm going to put that on, and I'm going to stop and check here and make sure that my cables went in the way I intended, which is in the right order, alternating colors. I'm going to push those back. The instructions say 3/16 from the end of the cable, from the jacket that is. I'm going to leave a 3/16 gap between the end of the jacket and the loading bar. That looks like about 3/16 to me. 3/16 is just a hair smaller than a quarter. And then I'm going to flush cut once more. Next, I'm going to take my crimping tool, and I'm actually going to use this back part here to squish that outer jacket into a more oval shape so that it goes easily into the outer jacket, or the connector. I'm going to quickly seat this guy, wiggle those edges in, and hopefully, as I push them in, here we go, I should be able to get that all the way down so that I've got 8 nice shiny pieces of copper on the end. My bare wire is all the way at the end, my loading bar is all the way at the end, and my jacket has gone significantly into the actual termination. And as I see that, it looks good. Verify that that's seated 100%. If this is not a shielded cable, if this was a shielded cable, I would have taken the drain wire, I would pull it back, and then coil it right underneath this outer shield so that as I close this down, the drain wire is going to get pinched underneath. This is not one, so I don't have to do that step, but that's what I would do if I did have a shielded cable. I'm going to push this guy down, which is really stiff. Really stiff. Might have to smash it. There we go. And start to bring those ends around. And then once I've got them kind of reasonably in shape, I'm going to grab my crimp tool, just sort of align that. I've got my cable pretty much set up the way I want, so I'm ready to crimp. This is a special crimp tool. The difference between this and your regular Cat5 crimp tools, your regular Cat5, Cat6 is going to push in a strain relief right here at the back of the cable. That wouldn't leave enough room for the jacket, so that's what's different about these connectors. They do not have that. There's more open space here in the connector, and that's why we have this external strain relief. So I'm going to figure out which way I put this in. Looks like that way. Again, double checking I have my 8 shiny copper pieces right at the end there. And crimp. I want to make sure at every step that I'm doing this right, because these are expensive connectors. These are $1 or $2 each, so I want to make sure I'm doing it correctly and not waste connectors. I am now good to go ahead and gently make sure my strain relief is in place and crimped down with my crimp tool. I'm not going to over crimp it. I'm using the larger of the two options. If you have a smaller cable, you may be able to use that smaller cable, but I'm going to ever so gently go around this guy, make sure he's crimped down. And there I have a terminated Cat6 cable. If it were shielded, I would have a shielded connector. It's not shielded, but I should still have a great termination. My strain relief is intact. You can see the jacket goes all the way from about 3/8 of an inch inside the connector, and it's got the external strain relief, so I shouldn't have any issues plugging this in and having some tension on it. That jacket should relieve the strain appropriately. That's it. That's how you terminate 10 gigabit Cat6A.